Are you the wizard?
Yeah, talk this thing shit, starting to bore me. Yeah, I'm bought a Christian cause I am adoring. Yeah, hear the MTS roaring. Yeah, I'm ballin', Robert Horris. She said, what's around your waist? That's a 40. Yeah, my life is so for real, this ain't no story. Yeah, hear the MTS roaring. Yeah, I'm ballin', Robert Horris.
Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I go by Malia, real nice to meet you. I'm super slim, I come with melanin features. Walk down the block, lead a push, girl speechless. Boys take me out, men dining and eat. Yeah, they're riggedy whack, they looking at the champion. They lickety lacking what I'm packing, I'm outstanding. Yeah, I think they mad. I got this in a bag, in my thrift store swag, popping off, no tag. Fella with the groove, going with the move. Stevie to the fools, but my shades had a proof.
The wizard.
Hey, I know you be turned up on the weekend. And on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, you be tweaking. Only one day of the weekend's all I need, man. So on Wednesday, leave that open up for me, babe. Cause on Wednesday, you're mine. On Wednesday, ooh, you're mine. On Wednesday, you're mine, yeah.
The wizard.
Yeah, baby, you know I don't do no dates, yeah. But for you, I know.
Are you the wizard?
Good afternoon, Mr. Wizz Dakota. How are you, sir?
It's good.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. We're still waiting on Miss Malia, but you're here with us, and I'm so happy that you're here. And I see Miss Malia is coming, right? Here she is. Fantastic. Let's bring her in. Good afternoon, Miss Malia.
Hold on. I have technical difficulties with the sound.
Well,
Now we good.
Yeah. Miss Malia, can you hear me? But I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being at the Wednesdays at 1 show. We're here on Facebook. We're here on YouTube. And this week, for the first time ever, we are on Twitch because I have two young, hip, happening people here. And so I want to go to where their fans feel most comfortable. So we added Twitch to the mix this week, and I'm so happy that I did. We're getting started a little bit late, but I showed a couple of the videos. We're going to go back to those videos, but I have to just start with a big introduction to my very special guests here today. The first, really, neither one of these people need any introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway just to be a good host and do my job. I have Miss Malia, the model, here, and I have Mr. Wizz Dakota. And in case you don't know who these young artists are, they are music wonders. They make music. They perform music. They live music. And just by happen chance, we all live probably where we live. You're looking at this triangle. We all live probably within a 10 square mile radius of each other just by accident. I don't know why, but I've seen both of these artists perform live. They know how to vibe. They know how to move a crowd like the true tradition of the MC. They move crowds. So I want to bring these artists to my audience. And so, guys, I just want you to say hello and tell the people a little bit about yourselves. We'll go ladies first. Miss Malia, introduce yourself and tell them about yourself.
Well, my name is Malia, the model. I grew up in Lawrence, and then I kind of found my way to Boston once I started working to like my music and stuff like that. I'm 28. I'm a Pisces. I just released a song called Be Gone. It's released everywhere. You can find that Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, iTunes, all of that. Yeah, I'm just here for a good time.
Well, thank you so much. And Mr. Wizz, Dakota, please let the people know who you are.
I go by the name of Wizz Dakota. I'm from Lawrence. I'm 29 years old. I've been making music since I was 12 years old. So I'm way over the 10,000 hour mark. I'm a producer, artist, engineer. Everything that has to do with music, I'm in love with. So yeah, I'm just a maniac when it comes to music.
Well, thank you so much. So when we met a little bit earlier, I told you guys I have to put the stars in their rightful place in the sky, right?
You a star too,
you
man.
Guys,
you a star.
Well, thank you. I'm humbled by that. Thank you so much. But I want to focus in on you guys because you do something that I think a lot of people find hard to do. I find it myself hard to do. I'm a media trainer. I help people feel comfortable putting themselves out there in front of an audience, in front of a camera, in front of a microphone. But you guys, you're true artists. You bare your souls in your songs. I'm going to start with you, Wizz. You said you've been making music since you were 12. What happened at 12 or even before or even along the way in your career? What happened where you woke up one day and said, you know what? I have a gift and I want to share it with the world.
Well, I come from a music family. Like my father's a musician. He's a merengue singer, producer. And my uncle is also a producer. He used to be a reggaeton producer. And one time we were in Miami and he just showed me this program. Well, he didn't show me, but he was using this program. And I'm just like, what is this? But at this time I was like into baseball. I was like, I'm going to be a baseball star. Like I'm going to be the next like Pedro Martinez. But like, I don't know what happened to me. Like I caught the music bug, I guess. Cause like my father always brought me to the studio when I was a kid. Like my mom used to tell me like, yo, you would cry if my father didn't take me to the studio. And like, I didn't do nothing in the studio. I would just sit there and just watch. But like,
you were soaking it in though.
I thought I was into baseball, but I don't know what happened. Like I saw that program and I'm just like, my brother's like real smart with computers. I'm like, yo, you got to get me this program. And this is me like at 12, 11 years old. I'm like, get me this program. And ever since then, it's been just music. I left baseball. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna be a baseball player. I'm gonna be a musician. I'm gonna be a producer, artist, everything. Well, I mean, I didn't start being an artist till like I'll say like 6 years ago, probably.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I'm inspired by that story. I think it's a great message for people, right? If there's something that touches you, that speaks to you, go for it. Yeah, immerse yourself in it. Learn it. Do it. Do all the hard work. I know, Wizz, I know you are always cooking in that lab. You're always coming up with beats. You're always coming up with songs. You're very generous in terms of working with other artists. When I met you, I probably met you about 3 or 4 years ago. You had just come back from Atlanta. You had just met with Polo the Don, and you were talking about that. I don't know if you remember that, but that's about the time I met you. And I started listening to your music. And up here in Lawrence, man, it's probably hard for you to walk the streets right now because people know your music. They love your music. I bought, when I went and got my iPhone, they said, oh, if you buy this iPhone, you can, we're going to give you this speaker. And it's a big speaker. It looks kind of like a hairdryer, but it pumps out music. It's so good. And I said, oh, good. I'm going to be able to listen to the new Wizz on this, right? And the kid, his eyes went like this. He's like, how do you know Wizz? I know Wizz. I grew up with Wizz. Why did you even say that? Because I'm going in there. I look like somebody's dad, right? And I'm shouting out, I'm name dropping on Wizz. And this kid, my street cred just went from 0 to about 100 just by saying your name. That's the star power you have, my man. So that's a little side story. I don't know if I ever told you that story,
Nah,
but that's
you
a
never
little
told
side
me
story.
that.
Yeah. So that's what you have there. That's what you do. So if you can elevate a cat like me, then you doing something right. So we really appreciate that. Now, Miss Malia, the model, right? I'm just gonna tell you guys, this young lady, she has my heart. This is such a incredibly giving, loving person. Miss Malia, tell the people, how did you arrive at this moment?
Um, I was kind of dragged here a little bit, if we're being honest. Because I started modeling, and if we're being honest, I didn't even want to start that. I was like, no one's gonna tell me, what I can and cannot eat, and all this. And then I started modeling, and I ended up loving it. And then music the same way. I've always wrote music during high school and stuff, and played around with raps and stuff. But my voice was so tiny. I told myself like, hey, you probably shouldn't be an artist. If anything, you would just like write music for people, because I didn't understand the process of recording and tuning your voice and different things like that. So once I finally got dragged to the studio after like 2 years of my friends trying to get me in there, I recorded my first song, and then I haven't been out of the studio since. And that was at the end of like 2017. So I'm 2 years into my music career right now. I released Scenario August the 28th of 2018, and that was like my big like coming out like, hey, I'm a rapper party. And I released that video. Yeah, so, and we've been doing it ever since. I kind of haven't really been on a modeling stage, which I mean, sorry but not sorry. I kind of like fell in love with the art of making music, you know. And now we're
Well,
here.
obviously you are a gorgeous young lady. I can say that because
Thank you.
there's no HR department at the Wednesdays at One show. We say what we want to say here, right? You're a gorgeous young lady. You come from a modeling background. When you got into music, were people questioning sort of like, where you were coming from, where they say, oh, she's just a pretty face, we don't know if she can really spit or not? And you mentioned you have a soft voice. You do have a soft speaking voice.
Yeah.
But my goodness, when they put a mic in your hand, you come up a little bit, lady, and there's nothing quiet about that voice. So
Oh
number
yeah.
one, were people questioning you because you came from modeling? And number two, where does that voice come from when you're performing?
No, I'm lucky. I got a lot of support from like my family and friends. Like I said, they knew I would like write, and I had some type of, musical art form to myself. I was just like, hey, like I don't got the voice for that. No, like on to the next. So once I finally started taking it serious, all my family and friends were like, let's go. Like, what do you need? They wanted to help me out, give me all the advice I need and stuff like that. So I'm really appreciative and grateful for my team I have around me. And my voice, I don't know, Eric. I don't know. I become a completely different person when I'm on the stage. Like I said last week on one of my first lives, performing is my favorite part of being an artist. So I don't know, something just comes over you.
Yeah. No, that's an incredible story. And Mr. Wizz, I just want to let you know that if you remember, I remember coming down to the radio station and meeting your uncle Eddie. Eddie's like a Lawrence legend. I love that guy. He's so cool and just so with it. And if you remember, I brought my man with me, DJ Voyage, and DJ Voyage just happens to be in the room today. And he just wanted to put up, he put up a little comment, just letting us know that, we all linked up and we went out, I think we had a nice meal.
Yeah,
we were at the radio station.
The Families Club.
Yes. And if for those you don't know, the family club is Atika, which if you've ever been in there, it's a vibe. I mean, every floor is like its own vibe. But, my man Clark is in here. Thanks for coming in, Clark. And he's just, showing love to you guys because you have so much talent. And if you know anything about DJ Voyage, he has his own show on Jammin' 94.5.
The legend
you
right
listen
there.
to him. Yeah, you listen to him when you're coming home from the club.
Yep.
Right. He's on at 2:00 on 94.5. And he is someone that I said, here's a guy that has incredible musical talent. Here's another guy who has incredible music talent. I just really wanted to get you guys together and chop it up. And that was a great night. Now, to you, Mr. Dakota, if I can call you that.
Of course.
I've been to your shows. I've been to a couple of your shows now at this point.
Yeah.
And for those of you guys who's never met Wizz or never seen him, Wizz has a presence, a big presence, right? This cat, when he comes in a room, you know he's there. And when I watched him perform, and I told him that night, he performed, I went backstage. This is like the first time that I met him, and I'm like, my dude, when I see you, I see a star. Do you remember that day?
That night was literally my first show, like as Wizz Dakota in Lawrence.
Really? I didn't even know that because
it was sold out.
You owned that stage. Now, let me just ask you, my man, based on that, like, what's going through your mind when you're on the stage? Because you're a little bit of a soft-spoken guy too, but when you hit the stage, same thing, boom, explosion. Yeah. Where does that come
stage,
from?
I'm not talking.
That's true. That's true. I've talked to you on the phone before. It's like I
like,
call him and it's like I owe him money or something. He's not saying anything.
I'm a weirdo like that. I'm like a super introvert. But I don't know. That day I was like nervous. I was excited. I just wanted to like sound perfect on the mic. Like through my head, I'm just like, yo, I hope the mic sounds good. I hope like I don't sound like all messed up because like my music is like mostly like auto-tune music and stuff. But nah, that night was crazy because like they pulled a fire alarm on me, and I'm the whole time in the backstage. I'm like, yo, I don't know if because like I don't know how I remember my lyrics. I don't know how, because like you could tell me right now to perform my songs and I don't know nothing. But once I hear like the music, I just know. I just like black out and I just do the whole song front to back. But that night was super like nerve-wracking because I was just like, it's my first show. I have the video of it, but you could tell like when I did the Wednesday track and then like I heard people singing and you could tell like my throat just like closed up. I'm like, oh shit. Like I was like, and then my uncle, he gave me a bottle. He's like, yo, take a sip.
I remember. I remember that so well. If you had told me that was your first time, I wouldn't have believed you. I met you that night and I told you
it wasn't my first time performing. It wasn't my first time performing, but it was my first time like solo, like Wizz Dakota, just me. I had my own set, like headlining. Like that was my first headlining show. That was my first sold out show, period.
Really, really good. Okay, I have a question here from one of our viewers, and Wizz, you don't know him, but I do, and I know Malia knows him. Tony Hippolyte, a guy who really helps me a lot in putting these shows together. He has a question for both of you. What is important to you when presenting your art to your audience? What's the most important to you?
You go first.
For me, just the overall presentation. I want you guys to know and feel that I put my blood, sweat, and tears into like this performance. You know, I want you to take back that entire experience. Like she just did that. You know.
What's most important to me is like sonically, like how does it sound sonically to you? Like if it's perfect to your ears, like right when you press play, like that's my biggest like goal in life. Like right when you press play, you'd be like, okay, this sounds crazy. That's like my most important thing.
And you mentioned Wizz, and I want to ask you, Malia, what is that feeling like when you're performing one of your songs and the crowd is singing the lyrics? Like, what does that feel like?
I mean, I'm so like, I'm kind of out of it. So I don't really experience all of it until I go back and watch my actual performances. Cause I'm just so like in the moment and I'm still like scared. I'm still nervous. My hands are still sweating. I still got to make sure like my moves are on point. I don't forget my lyrics, you know? So like, I kind of like see white almost when I perform. And then I go back afterwards and like watch it and be like, oh wow, okay. And like learn things I shouldn't do, some things I want to do again, things I can improve. and stuff like that. But there's nothing like the adrenaline of being on stage and just feeling like the bass of your music and just looking out and seeing the crowd. It's an amazing experience.
Well, that's funny because you both kind of say the same thing, right? That you kind of go into almost like a trance, right? You're in
it's like
yeah.
I like black out. I don't know what it is. Like
Facts.
Like I don't know what's going. I don't. It feels like it lasts like 5 seconds. But I'm on stage for like an hour, like 30 minutes, and I just be like, "Damn, it's over!" Right when I get off stage, I'll be like, "Damn, it's over already." It felt like 5 minutes, and then like my boys would be like, "Bro, you just did like 20 songs." I'm like, "What?"
Boss. Okay, I'm gonna clap because my sets be like 15 minutes, and they still be feeling so long to me. They
be feeling
long.
I feel like it's not. I'll be wanting to stay there for like 3 hours.
Well, one of the things that I hope happens as a result of today's Wednesdays at One show is that we maybe do a showcase. We get together. Maybe we'll even do it virtually, right? Where we can just get you guys kind of vibing together or going, maybe your own version of, Merrimack Valley versus, right? It's like you go, then you go, then you go, then you go. And, because the music is so, I love both of your artists. I love both of you as artists. You guys just really get it done. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to play a couple of snippets. Miss Malia, you just did a big IG live last week. I know this because I was there. And you have a song that you're putting out that you just released. Can you tell me a little bit about the song? I'm going to play a little snippet from it, but the name of the song is
Be Gone. It's called Be Gone. And it's my song that I created to like the universe and like the bad vibes and the bad energies around me and stuff and things that were trying to tell me no when I know I can, and just like men and stuff that just be in the way for no reason when they ain't even about it. So it was just all about that, It's just me telling the universe and just like the bad energies and like the auras around me, like, hey, like I'm about my paper, I'm about my money, I'm about hard work, dedication, and getting to where I need to go. And if you're not on the same level and vibe as me, you gotta be gone.
Love it.
Thanks.
With that,
my favorite show is on. Coffee, wake the sun up. Say I'm gonna fuck a stunner. Roll my blunder. My hair be done, my nails be done. I grind for fun. Got a problem? Say some. I promise there ain't nothing to figure out. It's so a big bang until it's time to bring them figures out.
Oh, so I just was bumping to it. Like we can't see each other when the video's playing, but I was just bumping to that. I've heard the song a million times now, but just vibing out on the Wednesdays at One show, just doing it, lady. And I saw you held up the Be Gone. Let me see what you got there.
Yeah, because I was gonna wear my sweater, but then I was just like, I like what I have on today. But I have on
right here too is locals.
That's merch you got on Wizz?
Yeah, we're gonna get to your Wizz. Let's get a little bit of Malia merch. We'll get the Wizz merch after.
So this is like one of the sweaters I have got going on, but they come in black, all kind of like this will come in white. I'll
definitely buy a black one.
Thank you. I'll get some from you too. I got beanies, I got masks, I got t-shirts, and that's for Be Gone. And I also have read up on some merch for my album or my EP, Major Look as well. So go to MaliaTheModel.com and get some merch. Support the broke artist out here.
Definitely. And now, Big Wizz. I'm gonna call you all kinds of them. I'm gonna call you Mr. Dakota. I'm gonna call you Wizz Dakota. I'm gonna call you Big Wizz. I'm just gonna make up names as we go.
Big Wizz is my favorite so far.
But Big Wizz, like I said, I was introduced to his music going back a few years, and used to do Wizz Wednesdays, and Malia, you do a Malia Mondays, which is really interesting. You guys are kind of vibrating on the same level without even knowing each other.
That's funny.
And but his latest song, I love the reference because if you're a true fan of basketball, you know this player. This player is probably never going to be in the Hall of Fame, but he got rings for days. So he has a very new song out too. And tell the people the name of the song.
It's called Robert Horry. It's like a legend basketball player.
And tell us a little bit about the inspiration. We're gonna play a little clip right after.
I mean, the inspiration is because Robert Horry, he was a monster, but like he didn't get that superstardom that he deserved, but he got the resume, you know what I'm saying? He got the rings, he got all that. And like that, I feel like that's me because I've been in situations like I've been around Grammy nominated, I've been around a lot of superstars and like, but everybody here just thinks I'm like just on my own, just like locally. But I have a lot of relationships in the industry. Like, I don't know, it's just Robert Horry just like reminds me of me. I don't know why. Something about it connects. And
so let's play a little clip. Let the people know what we're talking about. And great visuals here.
Yeah, talk this thing shit, starting to bore me. Yeah, I'm bought a Christian cause I am adoring. Yeah, hear the MGS roaring. Yeah, I'm ballin' Robert Horry. She said, what's around your waist? That's a 40. Yeah, my life is so for real, this ain't no story. Yeah, hear the MGS roaring. Yeah, I'm ballin' Robert Horry. Yeah, I just
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
That's written, mixed, produced, everything by me.
Stop showing off.
Oh,
no, I'm not showing off. I feel like I have to say it at least once. But I feel like I sound like Russ when I be talking like that.
That's good. I love Russ. He's like my inspiration to.
Russ is a monster.
Yeah, he's crazy.
But he's always talking about that he produces, mixes, and masters everything. It's okay.
Facts.
Now, for those of you who have not heard either one of these artists ever before, both of those songs are such beautiful and accurate representations of the vibe that you guys put onto your records, right? I mean, when you hear that, as soon as I heard that beat for Robert Horry, I'm like, I don't even have to hear a voice. I know that's Wizz music right there. I know that, right? And then with Malia, as soon as that voice hits the track, it's like that can be nobody else but Malia the model. So I really love that you guys are always so true to each other.
On the Robert Horry, I collabed with John Glass. He's from around here too.
I know John. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a piano loop, and I
have a song in the cut with John.
Yeah, I ended up collabing with people from where I'm from, and I've been making like a lot of beats, like using like they'll play something out for me, and then I'll use that, and I'll build a beat around it. And that's what I did with Robert Horry. That was like the start. I mean, the start of I relaunched Wizz Wednesdays again, but I started it with videos. Like I think a month before Robert Horry, I dropped Toast Up, and I'm about to drop another video soon for Wizz Wednesdays. I'm gonna do Wizz Wednesdays like that, like with videos.
Okay. And I want people to know for Wizz, you can find Wizz. Wizz is all over social media. He's always putting content out. But you can find him at Wizz Dakota on IG and basically everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
He's got videos out.
Twitter has a #1 then Wizz Dakota. Because somebody did a fake page and I can't get that Wizz Dakota.
Oh, you popping.
So I'm gonna take you back a little bit again, and I'm gonna ask you guys this question. So when I first met Wizz, I went to or the second time I met Wizz, and I brought DJ Voyage with me. We went to a radio station and we met you, and I met Eddie for the first time. And I don't know if Eddie's like your official manager or your manager or whatever. And I just said, look, let's just do something. Let's try to figure out how to get this guy everywhere.
He's just like my second father.
Yeah, no, he's like everybody's second father. He's like a great guy like that. but what Eddie said to me, I'm gonna paraphrase. I'm not gonna say exactly what he said, but what he said is, look, I want my artist to not become violated. I'll use the word by the music industry, right? And so I want you guys to talk a little bit about some of the realities of what this business is like, because it's not all shows and glamour and money, and there's a little bit of an underside to it that I'm not sure that people really know about. So I'm going to start again, ladies first. Malia, what is the music business really like? And I want you to be true Malia when you tell me.
You see my face already. It is expensive. It is expensive as hell. I should have created I should have put my cash app information down there or something, because it's expensive. But I mean, that's just the reality of it. I like my stuff to have like a quality of sound to it. I'm not going to Joe Schmo to record my music. Like, I want my sound to have like a specific type of quality to it. And then it, like you said, it's not all glitz and glamour. I get writer's block at times, and it's hard for me to just create, and that frustrates me at times, because I want to write, I want to consistently write, but just sometimes it just ain't there, and it's just not there. So it's just coping with different things like that, writer's block, and being able to afford the things you want to do, because I have music video ideas that I need Atlantic type budgets for. Okay. And I'm a little server right now. So it's like, we just have to figure it out, lever it out, save, manage your money. It teaches you how to learn about business, the back end of it. It's not just writing. It's like the music business of it. You don't want to get, screwed over when it comes to contracts and stuff like that. It's talking to lawyers. It's finding producers. It's finding engineers. I mean, unless you're Wizz, you're just going to go in the studio and do it all by yourself. But you have to find different people. I'm working on it, but it's harder than you think. I downloaded a beat app one day.
You're overthinking it. Just do it.
Maybe I should. Thank you for that advice. But yeah, it's just finding yourself, because I've been an artist for about 2 years now. So I'm still figuring out my sound, and different type of things that I can try that are new, different genres of music. So it's always a learning game. You're always a student when you're in the music industry.
Mm-hmm. Wizz, what about you? What is the business really like?
I mean, the music industry is 90% business and then 10% talent, to me. From what I've learned, maybe I'm going down the wrong path, but I know it's just like, yeah, like she said, like you go through a lot of ups and downs. I understand a lot of like why a lot of people like give up, but like sometimes you just can't give up, because that's what I want. I want to be in the music industry, and that's like my life. But it's a lot of fakeness. Everybody just wants a bag. Everybody forgets about like the main thing, music. Like I feel like nowadays it's extremely watered down. Everybody just wants to make money off a little click here, a little click there, and it bothers me a lot, because like I'm a big fan of music. Like music is like, I love music so much, and then like sometimes it gets discouraging that you see like one of these rappers that all they do is talk about taking drugs, like they're going platinum. So like that really discourages me. But like I'm not gonna stop, because like Dr. Dre or Timbaland, they never stopped. So like why would I stop? And look where they at. So I'm not gonna let like the little this, whoever drug addict that, I'm not gonna stop because they going platinum and I'm not. But I know my music lives forever, and their music is just a quick little single contract that's gonna last like 2 years. So I'm just like, if you've never been in the music industry, just know it's possible to get quote unquote violated, and just be prepared for the worst. I guess that's how I go through. Like be prepared for the worst. Like, be prepared for this war. And, you know, God got you
No,
regardless.
that's great. And speaking of preparing for the worst, I want to ask you guys also, in this pandemic, how are you reaching out to fans, and how are fans reaching out to you? What are you doing differently in this time? Because you can't go out and you can't perform.
No.
You can't, even just meet up with people, or maybe even some of the collabs you want to do, you can't really do right now. So how are you guys coping in a pandemic in a way that services your art?
Well, you ain't gonna catch me on no live concert. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I love y'all though. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart, but that's just not me. Like,
Yeah,
I'm doing this right
I ain't
now.
with that either.
But last week was my very first live I've ever done, ever, ever. So this is still something very new to me. It sucks because my favorite part of artistry is performing, like I said. So I like the face to face, the one-on-one engagements, the networking, like the little business meetings, or like little music meetups, the beat battles and stuff. Like, I miss going to all that. But at the same time, I'm very much like an introvert as well. So staying home wasn't a problem for me. I was like, oh, so I could just write? I could just write? Okay, cool. Tell me when outside's open again. I did do a little vacationing though, because staying in the house did kind of take a toll on me. It was a lot. I was like, okay, now it's time to go. It's time to go. So we had to take a little bit of a vacation and stuff like that. Things are trying to open up a little bit back now, but I don't think anything's really going to be back to the normal till like next year. Hopefully next year, you'll see me back on stage sometime.
So you got away a little bit, and Wizz, I know you've been away too, because I see you on social media and everything. So
Oh no,
I know you're doing a little things, but what are
out.
you doing with your fans? What are you doing for your fans in the pandemic?
My fans, my whole music career, I always connected with my fans by just releasing music. It's like, I never been like hands-on unless I do an event, you know what I'm saying? But they know that they can reach me. I talk to everybody through social media. I'll go on live. I'll make music on live. But mostly everything was just before COVID. That's how I interacted with people. Like, I'll be in the middle of the city and they'll just be like, "What's up, Wiz?" That was like the most interaction I would do. But like, everybody knows, like, to get in contact with me, like, it's just go to my music. And if you see me that haven't dropped music in 3 months, something's wrong. So like, I always post music regardless, and I'm always working. I'm always making beats. But I'm just that guy that just stays in the studio. So like, I don't really like interact with people like that, to be honest, unless we're trying to work.
I mean, so both of you guys are telling me that, almost like, not that you want the world to shut down, but you're like, okay, the world shut down, I'm still gonna do me.
Yeah, it was no difference to me. Like, oh, you're gonna close down. The only thing that hurt me, because I had a restaurant going on, I had to like shut that down. So that's the only thing that COVID like ruined for me. But other than that, I was like, oh, so I get to stay home and make music all day. Cool.
Yeah,
I'm with that. I play Xbox and make music all day.
No, that's great. Now I'm gonna go again. I'm going back into the time machine because we have Thanksgiving coming up next week, and I'm gonna go back in time about 1 year. The day was the day before Thanksgiving, also known as Thanksgiving Eve, and I went to a nice. Oh, is it 2 years? Oh my goodness! Oh Lord!
It feels
2
like
years ago in the time machine.
It feels like it's been, but honestly,
I mean, this year's been canceled, so it's
honestly, I don't know. Like,
going back
in
in that time
like, it could have been
machine
last year, but this year has felt so long. I don't know if I release my EP for 20. This year has really been messed my mind up.
Yeah, like next week is Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So 2 years
Maybe
ago.
Maybe it was last year. Let me stop talking. I think you're right, Eric.
On Thanksgiving Eve, it was a Thanksgiving Eve. We'll agree on that.
There you go.
I went into the seaport the night before Thanksgiving. I went to the rooftop of Yotel, really swanky, cool little place. And this is the first time I ever see Malia the model live. I had met her in person before, but this is the first time I saw her live performing. And let me just tell you that she blew the roof off of that rooftop. She just had so much energy because I had met her and she was very soft spoken. And all of a sudden, you put a crowd in there, you put a microphone in her hand, and it was such a great event, just like the perfect night. And really, the day that I really saw her in her full self as an artist. Tell me a little bit about how that night came together and what that night meant to you, Malia.
Well, shout out to Tony. Shout out to Rob. I had a ton of sponsors. Shout out to you, my sister at Take Flight Strategies. I had a ton of sponsors and stuff like that. I had DJ E Double as my DJ that night. That was the release for my EP. So it was a really, really magical night for me. I sold that event out. Like, you talking about E Double?
Yeah, that's like.
Yeah,
I literally talk to him every day.
So it was a really, really, really great time. It was a really great time. That was my first show ever. So you're not the only one that was like your first time seeing me perform. That was like basically everyone's first time seeing me perform, really, including my family. Like that was the first time, and that was the first time my family was like, "Oh, okay, like she's really serious about this. Like she's taking it serious," because they only like heard me always trying to go to the studio and come back hours later. They never seen
I could relate.
they never seen anything. So like they think I'm crazy. Like this girl wasting up all her time going places, and we don't see no music, we don't hear no visuals, what's she doing? You check. So seeing that, like my mom cried, my dad cried, like it was a lot. I cried too because like the Tony set up the entire Yotel rooftop, and he like it looked just like a Malia the Model production. Like it was beautiful. So yeah, it was a really great time.
Shout out to our guy Tony. He's incredible.
He's the best.
And you know what? E Double is everybody's homie, right? But he's hoarding everybody. E Double's everybody's homeboy, right? But he doesn't connect you guys. If I were E Double, and you can call me E Double because my name is E, I would be bringing everybody into a room and saying, how do we do it, right? My man DJ Voyage, you Malia, you Wizz, everybody knows and loves E Double. We got to get E Double on one of these Wednesdays at 1. And say, what's up, my man? Let's do this. Let's make something right now.
He's been working. He's about to open up a studio.
Busy, yeah.
He's about to open up a studio for everybody to get with each other and connect.
Oh, that's dope.
Okay, so that is great. I had no idea that I saw both of you your first time.
So quarantine. He'll call me every day like, "Oh, you all right? Everything's good," and then he'll just hang up. I'm like, "All right, cool."
We're getting E Double on this show.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I would like to see that conversation.
We'll bring you guys back. We'll get E Double. I'm gonna bring in my man DJ Voyage. We're gonna do a panel.
I gotta link up with Voyage, man. It's been a while too.
Yeah, he's great. That's he has my heart too. That's my guy. So
really good.
Maybe we'll set up and we'll do a music panel. We'll bring in E Double, DJ Voyage, Miss Malia. Big Wizz, and we'll do it. I'll just be quiet and let you guys talk amongst yourselves. You guys will just be having a party.
I like listening, man.
So we're getting a little bit close to when we're gonna wrap up. What I want to do now is I'm gonna play 2 clips. I'm gonna play a song called "Scenario," which is the very first song I ever heard from Malia the Model, which I love that song. I'm also going to play Wednesdays, which is one of the very first songs. I think I heard Dog Filter before I heard Wednesdays, but Wednesdays is one of my favorite Wizz songs.
That's the song that made me, man.
Yeah, it really is. And to get the creator of Wednesdays on the Wednesdays at 1 show, that's like my biggest achievement with this show so far. So just having you two on here has been really exciting for me. I don't know if you could tell. My voice is up like 2 octaves because I'm so excited to have you guys. Normally I'm down here. I'm a little cooler. I'm a little cooler, I think, in my mind, but I'm like a kid right now. So, but let me just play these 2 clips because I want people to hear your music and kind of have a sense of, the range that you have. So I'm going to start with Scenario. Then I'm going to go to Wednesdays, and then I'm going to come back. We're going to talk about those songs. And then we'll wrap up right after that. But let's play a clip from Scenario, one of my favorites from Malia. the model.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I go by Malia, run out to meet you, I'm super slim. I come with melanin features, walk down the block, lead a push, girl speechless. Boys take me out, men dining and eat this. They're rickety whack, they looking at the champion. They lickety lacking what I'm packing them outstanding, yeah. I think they mad, I got this in a bag, in my thrift store swag, popping off, no tag. Fellow with the groove, going with the move. Stevie to the fools, but my shades had a proof. New to the game, there's a lot we about to do. We never had a lick, it's nothing we gon' lose. Grew up in Lawrence, on the way to Boston. Doors like charges, hungry for a profit. If niggas ain't in jail, then they probably in a coffin. If you think you got it, I'm proof that you lost it. Come in luxury, come in.
Period.
So fire,
Period.
so fire, so fire. Love that song.
That
That's the
Leaders
first
of the New
Malia the
School.
Model song I ever heard. Yeah.
That's hard.
Again, sort of like a homage, right? A little bit of a throwback, right? Like Robert Ory. Like you have to kind of know a little bit. You have to know that beat. You have to be of a certain age or know a lot about music to know that beat. And with Robert Ory, you have to know a little bit about basketball beyond LeBron James to know who Robert Ory is. So I love that throwback aspect that you have. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to play a little bit of Wednesdays. This is one of the very first big Wizz songs, Wizz Dakota, that I've ever heard. And that is like the anthem of Lawrence. I'm going to tell you this right now. This is a song that everybody in Lawrence knows.
That's like my first song that ever went like viral type.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. And I love the song so much that I made a whole show called Wednesdays. So let's play a little bit of that.
The wizard. Hey, I know you be turned up on the weekend. Ain't no Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, you be tweaking. Only one day of the week is all I need, man. So on Wednesday, leave that open up for me, babe. Cause on Wednesday, you're mine. On Wednesday, ooh, you're mine. On Wednesday, you're mine, The wizard. Yeah, baby, you know I don't do no dates, yeah. But for you, I know it's gonna be okay, yeah. Let's take a trip, don't matter where, you know I'm paid, yeah. It's up to you, so let me know, it's what you say, yeah. I'm going up on a Wednesday, I'm the man, girlfriend. Only one day of the week, I'll be your man, girlfriend. I'm working every single day, I got a plan, girlfriend. I'm a Libra, so you know I understand, girlfriend. I'm trying to handle the business. On Wednesday, you can come get it. Pull up in the forest, so get it. The dash got digital digits. So by Wednesday, it's alright. Cause on Wednesday, ooh, you're mine. Yeah, I know.
There it is. There it is. So we're going to wrap up in a couple of minutes. But the one thing I want to ask you guys before we go is tell me a little bit about the thought process that went into Wednesdays and went into Scenario. The visuals are beautiful. You guys did incredible jobs with your visuals, but the songs themselves, they have like real meaning, I know, for each of you. So I'll start with Wizz. What did Wednesdays mean? How did Wednesdays come about?
I mean, Wednesdays, I don't want to sound cliche because like my name is Wizz Dakota and then Wednesday, but that's one meaning to it. And then like, to be honest, like I used to get paid at the club every Wednesday, and like every Wednesday I'll be my brother like, yo, we got paid, we ain't got nothing to do. This is like our day off. Let's buy a bottle of champagne, go to the studio. Like every Wednesday was like a Friday to me, you know what I'm saying? And Wednesday just became like literally my favorite day, and I'm just, this is before was Wednesday. It's just like, it's like it follows up to it. But like I ended up starting the Wizz Wednesdays, and I don't know what, because like every Wednesday I would record a track and release it. I don't know. I think that was like my 5th Wednesday, I guess. And I'm just like, oh, I got to record a song. And then, I don't know, that song came out of nowhere. And then my brother's like, yo, you should just do a Wizz Wednesday, like, song, like a anthem for Wizz Wednesdays. And then I just I came up with that, I guess. But it ended up becoming not commercial, but like really like radio friendly. And I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that. I just did it for like more like the streets and like whoever was following me. But it became, and one, I know it became a banger because like they were like, oh, let's play it on the radio. Can you send me a radio edit? And then when I went to go edit it, there's no swears, though, nothing. It's all clean lyrics. So I'm like, nah, this has to be like meant to be like just straight for the radio as a hit for real. And like the first month, I forgot, I hit like 100,000 plays like right away. It was wild. It was insane.
And I want to make sure before I get to you, Malia, I want to make sure I say hello to my good friend, Andy Lyons. She's looking at me on Twitch. This is my first time on Twitch. I have to thank you guys for that, because I said, if I'm gonna have these young superstars on, I got to go where the young people are. So I'm on Twitch because of you guys.
I got to get on Twitch
so
too, man, because I'll be playing video games.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it. And thank you so much, Andy, for tuning in. You are a big inspiration for me as well. Now, Scenario, the classic beat, and just fire lyrics and incredible visuals. Tell us about Scenario and how that came together.
Yeah, so Scenario was basically like my come out track. Like, hey guys, so I'm a rapper. And I like just released that one day everywhere. Just released it. So obviously I had to, if I'm coming out, I wanted to pay a homage first and foremost. Tony really forced me to do this freestyle. And then it came out to be like one of my best freestyles ever. So I wrote this and he's like, okay, we're gonna do visuals for this. I'm like, okay, cool. But it was like my come out track. So it starts off like, I go by Malia. Nice to meet you. I'm super slim. I come with melanin features, you know. So, and it just talks about like, you know, kind of my life, where I came from and where I'm going type stuff. And I really like using Scenario because it's all dope male rappers, like the dopest of the dopest. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna just do all the freestyles. This is gonna be me freestyling for like 2.5 minutes straight. And what's cool about it is if you watch the video, I kind of portray 3 different personas of myself. So it's like Leah Lux, who is like some very luxury, like, you know, like the sexy, like feminine side of me. And then there was Malia Bars, who was just like straight bars is hard, you know, just coming at you with like the straight lyrics. And then just the original Malia the model, who is just like the model, but also the rapper, who kind of just like ties it all in together. So it was just a video to show you like the different sides of where I come from, and just really give people a sense of my musical ability in terms of freestyling and rapping. I did a playoff, like the old school rap, like they wiggity whack, they looking at the champion, they lickety lack more than packing them all standing, yeah. So I like did little different things like that so people can understand what's about to come from modern music.
Fire.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the whole story. I love both stories. Just how really you guys are just expressing yourselves. You guys are, you didn't make these songs to make them be hits, and they turned out to be like the timeless songs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just creating.
I'm like, whatever, let me just write this real quick.
And I think that's the important message for everybody out there. Look, the goal is not perfection. It's like, just do it. Do something.
Just do it.
Put it out there.
I tell everybody that perfectionist, that's like that's a myth. That's not real. There's no such thing as perfection as music. You just gotta.
Yeah.
I'm still definitely working with the fact that like everything is not gonna be perfect. Every time I do a rollout, something's gonna go wrong. Like, you know, and just like breathe. Like I be hyperventilating sometimes.
Yeah,
and,
that's like
before this live, my whole power. Before we did this live, my whole
stress.
power went out the house. I'm like, and I just be stressing myself out. So I'm still learning to like, okay, Malia, it's fine. Calm down. We're gonna get there. You're gonna, you know what I mean? So I'm still learning that.
There's always a way. Regardless.
There is. And just before I begin to wrap up.
My 5 seconds of craziness.
No, and these are such important lessons for everybody out there who's either in the biz or not in the biz. But I wanted to make sure that I got my man DJ Voyage on. letting you guys know that the production on your work is incredible, right? It really is. You guys really do it. It doesn't sound like, you know, you just threw something together. These sound like real records. These sound like, and they are real records, right? And the fact that I'm even using records tells you how old I am, but these are real songs, right? And a DJ like DJ Voyage, who's just like, yeah, this is music. This gets the club going, or this gets you vibing out in your house. This gets you pumped up. This gets you thinking about stuff in a certain way. And that's really the beauty of music. And so as we begin to wrap up, I want to make sure that people really see my artists, right? I want people to really see these two beautiful artists that are making music, following their dreams, living their art, and we're all the better for it. So as we wrap up, I want to thank first my beautiful young friend, Malia the model. Thank you so much, lady. I so appreciate having you here.
Thank you.
And my guy, this is my guy, right?
Okay.
Wizz, the guy who got me to be cool in the eyes of some young kid.
Come on.
He got me into a club. You both of you got me to step foot in a club like an old creepy person who's not supposed to be there. But I was cool because I knew you guys. Yeah. So thank you for that. But and I also want to thank my guys that tuned in. Everyone who left messages. I want to let you know that next week we're not going to do a Wednesdays at 1. It's Thanksgiving Eve of 2020. I just have to get us back into this year. But I'll be back the week after next, and we'll revisit. I don't know what the show is going to be, but I'm going to tell you, whatever that show is, it's going to be hard-pressed to top this show. You guys have been amazing. I'm giving you guys love and high fives right now. Thank you so much for being here. I want everybody to go find these artists, follow them, get into their stuff. They have such great music, something for everybody. You can really vibe to all of their stuff. These are real artists, guys. These are guys that are living their art, living their dream. So thank you again to my artists. Thank you to my audience. We'll see you in 2 weeks on the Wednesdays at 1 show. Thank you again, and have a great afternoon.